Live from Gahanna, WGLH TV presents Lincoln Live. With Ray Tadako and Jillian Sanders. Lincoln Live starts now.
Hello Lincoln, I'm Ray Tadako.
And I'm Jillian Sanders. There's a huge event coming up this weekend.
Yes, and it's Diaspora. This Saturday, you can come and enjoy an educational experience.
There will be 2 show times. One will be at 2 and the other will be at 7.
Tickets will be $5 and you can buy them at locallevelevents.com.
Again, that's locallevelevents.com. All the money that's raised will be going towards student scholarships.
In support of a great show that is to come on Saturday, here are a few students to talk about Diaspora and what it means to them.
Playing the cello, and it's important to have representation with orchestra. It's a very classical and not as representative of the Black community, and to be able to represent African Americans in such a classical and traditional type of music, but bringing our own spin to that form of music is very important, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Thanks, everyone. Ray will be actually performing in Diaspora on Saturday, so I just got a few questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we haven't had Diaspora for a couple of years now, so can you just tell me what Diaspora means to you?
So last time we had Diaspora, we were freshmen, and it was Mrs. Anderson, Dr. Thomas, a few other teachers, and this year we've really had to up our game, bring another level. So it feels really nice to know that we can come back from such a long time and create a great show. It feels really good to represent our culture.
Yeah, so you're talking about representing your cultures, and there are different acts that show that. Can you just tell me a little bit about the acts?
So there's singing, there's some dancing, there's poetry, there's going to be videos displaying historical events and different people in history, and then there's a fashion show. So a lot of different things that represent culture to educate people.
Yeah, so all these different acts and everything, when did you guys actually start preparing for the show?
So we started auditions in October, and then we started for real in November, and then now we've had like rehearsal every single week since November to now in January.
That's awesome. I'm so excited, and Diaspora is going to be great. Now moving on to another event that happened not too long ago.
Yes, Gahanna-thon. In fact, our Maddie White examined this amazing event.
Here's Maddie with the wrap-up and any final information on Gahanna-thon.
Last week, our school had its comeback for one of the biggest events it has held, this being Gahanna-thon. For the past 3 years, this event hasn't been hosted due to COVID, which is quite unfortunate because it brings in money for a great cause, childhood cancer.
So all the proceeds from Gahanna-thon will go to Nationwide Children's Hospital and the oncology room for children with cancer.
Student Council found many different ways to raise this money, including a coin wars between the different homerooms to add in some friendly competition.
We had a lot of fun organizing this event, just like having the dodgeball, having stuff in the library, and having stuff in the cafeteria was just all for expanding research.
As well as the different activities, there was one standout difference, which was the main event. In the past, it has always been a game of basketball against a student team and a teacher team. This year was different, and it was able to bring up participation.
We had so much participation this year because our student body chose to play dodgeball as our main event. We had way more teams, lots of student participation, and more staff participation, which made it extra exciting.
From the main Gahanna-thon event, we raised over $2,000 that day. We're still counting up money from coin wars that you guys had in your classrooms. In our own personal team raiser that we send out to family and friends, we have raised about $1,500.
In the last 2 years, Gahanna-thon has looked different due to COVID, which means that all underclassmen have never seen this event before. This ultimately took a toll on participation.
We're still hoping to come back from like the quarantines and the pandemic. It hasn't been as much as we raised in past years before the pandemic, and we're still hoping to reach that goal.
In all, the day for Gahanna-thon is all about having fun for a good cause, and that's exactly what it did. This is Maddie White for Lincoln Live.
Thanks, Maddie. Our In the Know team is a trivia and academic knowledge team, and members of Gahanna's team finished in 4th place at the tournament hosted here at Lincoln over the weekend. Competing for Lincoln were Don Barb Cox, Pluto Burns, and Xander Mayers. Additionally, Xander Mayers came in 5th place. Congrats to our In the Know team. Hey Jill, it looks like Olivia Doyle's in the studio with some important information.
It sure does. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. So what do you have for us?
Well, In Mr. Hardin's environmental science class, the students are learning about soil and their properties. They took samples of sand, clay, and dirt to find out the categories of texture, consistency, and structure. They had to spray the samples with water and follow along to see if they could categorize each sample correctly. We talked to Samantha Rodriguez about how she felt on this exact lab.
So I think that the lab was actually pretty helpful because personally I'm a hands-on person and I learn better when I'm being shown something and I'm doing it at the same time. But I think it is also helpful as a class and as tables because you get to exchange information between the people that you're sitting with, and it makes it easier to understand what we've been learning.
Thanks, Sammy. Two of our Lincoln Live members headed off the football field and onto the basketball court to capture Gahanna's sweet sounds. From Gahanna's #1 fan to students being excited about the dunking on the court. Here's the newest edition of Hear Our Roar.
I'm Angel Christman. And I'm Ray Tanako. Hear Our Roar is back, and this time we're taking on the court. The boys program takes on Westland, and you're going to hear our roar.
It's cool to be a program. Like, we're all like a family, basically.
Pretty cool program, you know, we're like brothers, care for each other.
I was laughing, you know, having fun with my boys.
Yeah, there's always like a lot of energy. We're JV, we get to hype up the students section before the varsity game.
Varsity is always fun to watch because of the dunks and stuff. You know, Neo is going crazy. Did just almost good. The point guards are going crazy.
It's fun to get out the house and not be in the house and come watch like your friends play basketball.
Get it together, pick up the pace, work hard, locked in.
Well, Lincoln, that's all we have for you guys. It was a great night of basketball. Our program played pretty well, and we hope you heard our roar.
Thanks, guys. Basketball season definitely has to be one of my favorites. That's all I have today. Back to Jill and Ray at the news desk.
Thanks, Olivia.
Speaking of basketball, our Lady Lions basketball team is getting excited for their pink out game tomorrow night.
The girls will play at home against New Albany at 7, and they will be wearing their pink jerseys in honor of breast cancer awareness. So you don't want to miss out.
Well, we have come to the end of our show.
Tomorrow you'll see a special edition of Lincoln Live, so stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye.